What's up, my fellow clout givers? Today, we've got some juicy stuff. You've probably seen on Twitter and everywhere else that SSSniperWolf has been caught in 4K for some incredibly heinous things. SSniperWolf is perhaps YouTube's superstar due to how much money she makes off the platform and the amount of influence she has. And now her career has officially hit rock bottom. The first thing on the table is that SSniperWolf decided that it would be a great idea to visit JacksFilms himself in his own house and stream it. That's right, SSniperWolf decided to choose violence that day and dox JacksFilms, taunting him to come out and, quote, talk like adults. Sounds like a veiled threat to me. Oh, and you know for a fact that this is completely against YouTube's terms of service, as this falls under extreme levels of harassment. Some may make the argument like SSniperWolf that JacksFilms has been harassing her for months because of the amount of videos he's been making on her. To that I say, critiquing someone for content theft and non-transformative commentary, as well as just being critical of her content overall, is not comparable to visiting someone's house, sending them a veiled threat, live streaming their home, and doxing them for millions of people to see. On one hand, you just have a bunch of videos that you could very well just ignore, and even if you had a big problem with this, as if you were in SSniperWolf's shoes, you could very easily just get into contact with him online. On the other hand, you have a person intruding your own home over the most petty reason and streaming your residence for millions of people, which is a major violation of privacy and could potentially result in a lot of bad things to happen. These two are not comparable. Here's another thing that SSniperWolf has yet to address as well. Apparently, she has been caught in 4K sexualizing minors on Omegle. I cannot show the video for obvious reasons, but thankfully it is censored if you're for some odd reason looking for it, but the video in question is SSniperWolf on Omegle asking a couple of minors to twerk on camera while simultaneously offering to, pull out the melons. So not only is she a doxer and harasser, but also a pedophile. You know, I never liked SSniperWolf, but this just gives me all the more reason not to. So you have both of these into consideration where SSniperWolf has done some incredibly scummy things. And what does YouTube do about it? Well, she gets a slap on the wrist. Due to her violating JacksFilms' privacy, YouTube threatened to put her monetization on the line, even though the correct response from YouTube would have been to permanently ban her YouTube channel. I think Mythical put it best on Twitter. If a smaller YouTuber did the thing SSniperWolf did, then they would have been banned. The only reason you're keeping her on your platform is because you only care about money. Like honestly, it's kinda obvious the only reason SSniperWolf did not get banned is because she makes a lot of money on YouTube. She's literally a YouTube superstar at this point, so of course they're not gonna ban her. So YouTube threatened to take away monetization from SSniperWolf's channel, which was enough to warrant an apology letter from SSniperWolf herself. Her apology reads, and I quote, "Let me start by saying I'm sorry for my recent actions. It is inexcusable. I'm sorry to JacksFilm, getting the name wrong, YouTube, the entire creator community, and my incredible fans for not being a better example for appropriate conflict resolution. JacksFilm, while we certainly don't see eye to eye and have our differences, I am sorry for reacting the way I did when I should have taken the opportunity to show young creators how adults and professionals resolve conflict by communicating directly, respectfully, and privately. Not for views or content, but a meaningful example of how conflict should be solved. I will reach out directly and hope we can find some time to connect and communicate respectfully. I'd also like to thank YouTube for holding me accountable. I deserve it, respect the decision, and appreciate the opportunity to learn and grow from a true lapse in judgment." So basically, Logan Paul. This apology is ass, and we know for a fact that she only posted this because her monetization was on the line. If she really wanted to prove that she was sorry and that what she did was inexcusable, she would try to repair the damage she did, which, yeah, that'd be pretty hard. It's not really something she can easily get out of. She actively went out of her way to dox her biggest critic live on stream for millions of people to watch, and she really expects people to just forgive her right off the bat with this apology? Well, it worked for some people at least, but we'll get to that in a moment. Let's go ahead and dissect this apology real quick. She acknowledges that her recent actions are inexcusable, yet she says this only after YouTube is warranted a response for these actions, and it only occurred to her after doing said actions that what she did was inexcusable. That just doesn't add up. She's a grown adult doing literal criminal activity like that, and straight afterwards she acknowledges it as inexcusable? And prior to this, she claimed on her Instagram that she didn't do it with any ill intentions. It just doesn't make any sense. She says she'll take the opportunity to get into contact with JacksFilms the proper way this time. Well, we haven't heard anything about that, at least I don't think. So I'm just gonna assume she's lying, because JacksFilms on Twitter has been on about getting SniperWolf banned from YouTube, understandably so. And lastly, she thanks YouTube for holding her accountable for her actions. Not JacksFilms, by the way, YouTube specifically, because you know she likes it when money appears on her lap. But wait a moment, something's not right. SniperWolf lost her monetization, right? No. She lost her monetization on one video, which at the time was her most recent one, not her entire channel. So basically, YouTube lied, and is still not following their own TOS. Wonderful! You wanna know the best part about this apology letter from SniperWolf, by the way? Turns out, the entire apology letter was AI generated. A couple of people on Twitter have confirmed this using GPT-0. They have found out through that site that the apology letter was AI generated. So not only did SniperWolf go out of her way to make this right after her monetization was put on the line, but she decided to go through with it using AI generated text. Both this and the fact she's never addressed the pedophile allegations from the Omegle video speaks volumes about her, to be honest. After this situation unfolded, due to the Omegle video resurfacing, SniperWolf is also on record deleting several videos on her channel that could have contained said content. That's really not a good look that you're deleting so much content in response to an incredibly suspicious video resurfacing on the internet that incriminates you for inherently pedophilic actions. Oh, and I actually didn't know about this before the drama, but SniperWolf was actually arrested in the past for other criminal activities like armed robbery. This is the person we're dealing with, and this is one of YouTube's superstars. Not a good look at all. So there you have it. SniperWolf has been exposed for doxing, harassment, and sexualizing minors. But of course, the dark side of fan bases would not be the dark side of fan bases without its blind defenders. You have people out there claiming that the entire drama is pointless. No, it isn't. Someone's privacy has been majorly violated and their home address was doxed online for millions of people. Again, let me hammer in the millions of people that were watching that day. That's not good. I mean, think about the consequences that could happen because SniperWolf publicly leaked the exact location of JacksFilms online with that many people to witness. Of course, when something like that happens, those people are not going to feel safe in their own home anymore. People are also accusing JacksFilms of being just as bad in this situation because of the series of videos that he makes on her. Not only that, but YouTube has also made the argument that both sides are in the wrong when they announce SniperWolf's monetization being affected. The fact that YouTube feels the need to make both sides accountable is ridiculous for obvious reasons. One visited someone's house and violated their privacy, the other is just a big critic. These two are not comparable in the slightest. Someone also made the hashtag #FreeSniperWolf movement on Twitter, which is pretty fucking funny, not gonna lie. Someone made a poll asking if SniperWolf is in the wrong. 25% people said no. That's 25% too many. Some people are also defending the Omegle video where SniperWolf was offering to show off her chest in exchange for minors to twerk on camera. If you go out of your way to defend sexualization of minors, then that's enough for me and most likely many others to completely disregard your opinion. As you can see, there are a lot of degenerates and deranged fans defending SniperWolf's incredibly harmful actions. And unfortunately, under this umbrella, somebody I used to have a lot of respect for decided to become a hypocrite. Sendou Q comes on Twitter offering leniency to SniperWolf because of the apology letter she made using AI, saying that he hopes she can change. I told him that it was incredibly unlikely, and he would insist that there is a chance she can prove that she changed. Quote, "Well, you could go ahead and keep this one instance and point it at her. I'm instead going to keep that same energy and believe that everybody could change with their actions because I know we make mistakes, even though I don't condone what she did, she is still human." Sendou, I would like to take this time to tell you that there's a major difference between making mistakes and actively going out of your way to hurt someone. SniperWolf did the latter, and you giving her the slightest bit of leniency despite the context shown is not a good take, especially because you are on record making several videos and live streams specifically on Quantum TV, a person that has done the exact same thing as SniperWolf. Sendou Q says the reason why he gives said leniency is because she apologized unlike Quantum TV, but that just means according to Sendou Q, fake apologies are enough to warrant any leniency at all and expect a positive change out of them. That's not a good outlook of the situation at hand. Yes, you can give people second chances, and yes, you can give people leniency from making mistakes, but what SniperWolf did was not just a mistake. She actively went out of her way to hurt someone and violate their privacy, and the only reason she apologized was because YouTube threatened to take away her monetization. Sendou Q is also on record on Twitter stating that if Quantum TV apologized, he would have offered that same leniency, but it's still incredibly hypocritical of him to say that when 1, he hasn't even addressed the SniperWolf drama on YouTube, YouTube and he only acknowledges the apology she made on Twitter. And 2, you are basically offering leniency to a person that has done the exact same horrendous acts as Quantum TV, if not worse. It's a double standard on your part, and your entire cope thread does not help change my opinion that you're pretty much acting delusional on behalf of SSSniperWolf. He also quote tweeted me saying that I enjoyed watching content that was milking Quantum. My guy, that is some serious deflection right there. I was simply pointing out that you were being a hypocrite by giving SSniperWolf some leniency simply because she made a fake apology, even though she has done the same horrific acts as Quantum TV. You fault me for, quote, assuming that you know everything about her, yet all you need to know at all was that SSniperWolf doxed somebody live, on stream, to millions of people. Even if that's all you knew, that doesn't mean you should blindly accept her apology and expect her to grow as a person. He also claims that I'm putting words in his mouth when all I said beforehand was it's ridiculous to think SSniperWolf has a chance at redeeming herself or any change whatsoever, because as you have said earlier, you know nothing about SSniperWolf, so what makes you think she deserves another chance to begin with when you don't even know half of the things she's done? Might I point out once again that she was arrested at one point for armed robbery, and she has yet to address the pedophile allegations where she was asking minors on Omegle to twerk on camera in exchange for nudes. If this is the person you think can somehow by miracle change as a person despite their vast amount of infamous history, then I'm sorry to say, but you're delusional. And a few others agree that this is a bad take of yours, so my suggestion would be to take the L so that we can move on. And with that, we have reached the end of our topic today regarding SSniperWolf. My thoughts on the entire drama is that SSniperWolf was pretty much unlikable from the start, but the entire situation at hand here just gives me all the more reason to say that she's unlikable. It's also not that surprising at all that YouTube barely did anything about this situation. This is the same platform that still currently allows a lot of groomers on here, as well as people like Logan Paul and Quantum TV. And as for Sendou Q, I still like the guy, but the reaction he made today was pretty bad and he needs to get some perspective. Oh, and a quick little update. I have a new Twitter, and I started getting back into drawing. I'll leave my new Twitter account in the description, please leave a follow, and on that note, thank you all for watching, be sure to subscribe because I need clout.